Halsey just released a statement in which she expressed her remorse over returning to the spotlight and said that her own fans have treated her worse than anyone else on the planet. I just hope Halsey knows her real fans are always here to support her, but I understand that sometimes the negative people online seem to be louder than the positive ones, and sometimes it can really get to these celebrities' heads. And this debacle seems to be a prime example of that. Halsey has released multiple statements, and in her final one, she seemingly threatens to leave the music industry behind because of this whole situation. So let's get into it. After a few years away from the music business, Halsey has been gradually making her way back. As we've been following, she's been busy dealing with two very serious medical conditions: systemic lupus erythematosus and T-cell lymphoproliferative disease. Halsey initially opened up about her health struggles following the release of her song The End. Last month, the singer took to her Instagram to share that she has been diagnosed beginning in 2022, but that she was slowly feeling ready and excited to step back into the limelight upon receiving care from her doctors, writing, "Thank you guys for the unbelievable amount of love on The End and the support you've shown me since its release. I realize everyone is catching up with news I've held in for a very long time, and I wasn't sure how much I wanted to share. You've all been so kind, so I want to share a bit more. In 2022, I was first diagnosed with lupus SLE and then a rare T-cell lymphoproliferative disorder, both of which are currently being managed or in remission, and both of which I will likely have for the duration of my life. After a rocky start, I slowly got everything under control with the help of amazing doctors. After 2 years, I'm feeling better and I'm more grateful than ever to have music to turn to. I can't wait to get back where I belong with you all, singing and screaming my heart out." However, it seems as though just a month in, the singer has quickly realized this was actually not everything she was hoping for, and her experience returning to social media has taken a turn for the worst since then. And by this, I mean on Tuesday, Halsey took to Tumblr to reveal that some fans have almost completely made her change her mind. This comes after her most recent single, Lucky, which came as a shock to some people since not only did it hit only 90,000 views, but it was followed with a lot of criticism about how her music simply just doesn't hit anymore, especially when it comes to the genre of pop. Basically, there are a ton of comments on Twitter and other social media platforms complaining that Lucky is a bad song, that it differs from her last album, and some of her followers have begged her to completely trash the album. It's not looking good, you guys. On Halsey's YouTube, under the music video itself, her comments were mostly positive, but everywhere else, it was just the complete opposite. This led to Halsey making this post on her Tumblr momentarily after her release. She said, "My own fans are hands down meaner to me than any other people on the planet. Not speaking for all of you, of course, but it used to be just a minority that were awful to me, and now it seems like a majority have only stuck around to chime in occasionally with their opinion of how much they hate me or how awful I am. It's hard to want to engage in a space that is completely devoid of any kindness, sympathy, patience, or, to be honest, human decency, especially after years of hiding from the interactions for fear that this exact thing would happen. I don't know, man. I almost lost my life. I'm not going to do anything that doesn't make me happy anymore. I can't spiritually afford it. When I got sick, all I could think about was getting better so I could come back and be a part of this again, but I don't even know what this is anymore, and I want to crawl in a hole and I regret coming back." She also said, "Anyway, I'm on my way to a PET scan and uploading Lucky stripped, because this is the insane irony my life has become." This person made a great emphasis on the toxicity of certain fandoms on Reddit. I remember when it was a big deal that celebrities were even getting social media. You couldn't access them beforehand. Now, here we are where their entire lives are up for consumption, stans feel an intimacy that doesn't exist, and the celebrity can fully see every comment if they want to. I wouldn't fully step away if I were her, and I wouldn't blame her if she did. Someone else noting an interesting point, "I found a lot of pop stans seem to hate the person they stan. I don't know if it's that they used to love them and no longer like them, but have spent so much time on that person they don't want to move on, or if it's because they spend so much time hating on their faves' rivals that the hate has now moved on to the person they supposedly love, or what they'll say, you should be able to be critical of your fave," which, yes, is partly true, but if you are only critical, why are you still paying attention to that person? This person responded saying, "It's like they don't know there's a big difference between being critical of them and just being a straight up It's like people forget their favorite artists are actually human beings. They just think it's funny, like they're trashing on a fictional TV character. Now, regarding the backlash Halsey was getting over her new single, here's what some people were discussing on forums. I just listened. The lyrics make sense for Halsey, but apparently she didn't even write it, which I thought was her strength. It's not really that bad of a song. I mean, I don't want to hear it again, but it's nothing to her the girl over. At least she tries to release music, unlike Rihanna's. She really thought she was doing something by releasing that damn yodeling lullaby. She's not releasing music because she's afraid her comeback will flop. Wow, the pop girlies are flopping. Halsey, Katie, who's next? I thought pop was a solid genre. And now, following Halsey's Tumblr post addressing how she felt about some of her fans and her potentially considering leaving the limelight because of this, as we'll get into another Tumblr post she made the day later, I do have to mention that lots of people were sending her love and support, telling her to stay strong, but let's just say other people had differing opinions, with all the people on Reddit sympathizing with Halsey, and they just weren't quite fond of the way she responded to her fans, which personally, I didn't see anything wrong with her response. I think she kept it super respectful, super professional, and she was just airing out her feelings. This user said, why is she attacking her fans though? I mean, is the attacking in the room with us? Because I honestly have yet to see it. They continued, Reddit is acting like this is okay, but I don't think it's a good idea to tick them off. Swifties ride hard for their mediocre queen even when their songs are terrible. Why don't you think she checks their crazy behavior? Oh my god, I knew she was insufferable, but this is diabolical. She's constantly victimizing herself for sympathy, and I'm glad it's not working. Instead of taking the criticism and reflecting, she throws out random illnesses. Also, if she really had these issues, why is she not partnering with foundations and making songs to bring awareness? She's seeking chart success and she deserves to flop. She's annoying AF, my goodness. Halsey ended up coming out with another statement the next day, which she seemingly deleted off of her Tumblr now, but a lot of people took that she was hinting that her retiring from music was a possibility at this point, because of all the criticism she was getting for her music by a portion of her fans. Keep in mind, this was also her return to social media, so finding out that it was going to be received in this way, she was obviously not going to be here for it. She said, the truth is that I'm learning a lesson right now, and this experience is too familiar. Aside from the few remaining friends and family I have in my life, there was another portion of people who reacted to my sickness in two different ways. The first decided it was too heavy and they didn't even want to touch it, and they disappeared. The second was angry with me that I was too sick to take from anymore, so they were cruel to me instead. I was so lonely. I went to treatment alone so many times. I sat there wishing I would talk to someone or tell someone or ask for help. I just can't help but feel like that's happening all over again here in this part of my life. I dedicated 12 years of my life to connecting with people and helping them. Thousands of people told me I saved their life, and then I returned to those same people only to hear that they don't care that I almost lost mine. What a reveal. I can't explain in words the misery and suffering of those years, hitting myself and blaming myself for ruining everything. I worked so hard to be here and I had to stop because of something against my will. And now I'm back, and I know you don't like the song, and that's okay because you don't have to like everything I make. That's not why I make it. I made it to tell my story. But what I can't get past is the disconnect. You know what I learned yesterday? I learned that only 1% of my active fans have even bothered to listen to the song. But the conversation about me is so loud and so wicked, and it's coming from a much larger percentage than that. So right now, there's millions of people who call themselves my fans who are just ripping into me, and barely any of them have even bothered to check out the song. It's not about the music, it's about me as a concept and as a projection for some of my fans to rip into shreds. But it's not about the music anymore, and I can't do this if it's not about the music anymore. I'm too weak, I'm too effing tired, and you're right, I'm not who I used to be. I'm different now because I went through a life-altering experience that almost unalived me, and unalived off some parts of me instead. I really thought returning to the thing I love would make me feel better, but it doesn't at all, and I'm so sorry to those of you who are so kind and supportive and lovely and incredible, and I wish I could hug you and thank you, but this is a mess. It's a effing mess. I'm gonna keep moving forward because I worked too hard on this album to walk away, but once it's all said and done, it might be said and done. I hope things get better and I can enjoy sharing this album with those of them who have even bothered to check out the song. Anyways guys, this is honestly so disheartening the way this has all played out for Halsey, considering she's come back after 2 years enduring 2 awful medical conditions, already having so much on her plate, and then having to deal with the backlash after her comeback. But do let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments down below. Do you think Halsey's Tumblr post and what she said about her fans was a valid take, and what do you think about fans in general going to the extent that they do to scrutinize certain celebrities' music? Do you think they should just stop supporting the artist and move on if they no longer like their music? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I love you guys so much, and as always, I'll see y'all in the next video.